I have hostas in the pots out here. I'm going to replace these pots. If I could put those in the ground, I may do that, but I'm trying to get a lot of things in pots so I can deal with pots and just keep the ground clean as possible. There's some little weedy things growing up all over the ground. I had those up earlier, but you have to stay on it because they're going to come right back. I even have a plant underneath that black crate right there. You know, I have pots laying around with some things growing out of them. I'll take care of that. I have the old grapevine here that runs across. I'm gonna have to do something to really take care of this situation over here. Maybe pull the metal up and get it a little closer. I can't find a wood, long enough wood piece to run across like I used to have. I'll make one. I'll do whatever to make it run back across there again. Just bought this plant. You get it in the ground. All these little things are on it, just like over there, and at the tree. But I'm going to put that in the ground as soon as I find a spot for it, which will be this week. I'm going to clear out all of this right now because I have a little ground monster that's digging holes under everything, and I see dirt coming up out of this. So we're going to see what kind of worker he is. See what's underneath here, and whatever's underneath here, I'm gonna have to try and shove this dirt back down into the hose, get a water hose and run it over here, and try to help flush it back into the hole again. I think this is gonna be a lot of work. I'm gonna move some things out the way right now, and then that way we can see what's going on underneath here. And if you like, you can come help me. The grapevine take hold of anything metal or anything. You don't have to be metal. Take hold of this, start growing. Stick that there. Whew, yeah. Anybody need a spike? Take your time when you have an area that you want to get together. Don't rush to get too many things in here. Don't go so crazy about getting a lot of flowers, especially ones that die off. They're nice. You get those a little bit later, but get the main things you want so they can be like these trees here. They've been here for a while. I will replace a couple of them. I will have to cut those out and replace a couple of these, but not the one on the far end. You can always change, like anything that's in this open area can be changed out. So I'll change them out, once I see what I have and just kind of think, hey, what would be a nice change for it, I'll change it out. You know, this glass is not going to stay here probably too long. I don't know. I'm doing something with that fishbowl back behind, right over there. I'm doing something with the fishbowl. I kind of want to move this, put that over there, and do some things around this on this table where I'm supposed to be potting things up at. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Anybody want to help with this? Move this out the way. Ooh. Okay, looking pretty nasty. Anybody can do this, and once you start doing this, you might think, I don't know if this is for me or not, but once you start seeing progress, you're gonna do it a little more and a little more. Then you'll want other people to get involved, which is always good, because sometime in the community, even nice little communities, they won't have flowers. You go in the backyard, they won't have nothing planted up, and it looks plain. Go ahead and show what you like in your area. And always have a big shovel. Big shovel and a big broom. Always have a big shovel and big broom. Small shovel, small brooms. Get all the different kind of rakes. Large ones, small ones. Metal ones, plastic ones, all of it work. Wherever you get them from, even if somebody gives them to you. Okay. Now, I think I'm gonna do is start over here in the corner, pull up this wood, and we're going to see together what's down in there. And it's going to be a surprise to both of us. All right. Something's been running around. in, people. Come on in. Check this out. You look down in here, you're gonna see how high this sand is up. That's because the little pesky one is doing that. He's pushing this stuff up so he can go through a hole, and there's a hole over here. I want you to be able to see it. And there it is. There's the hole that I'm gonna have to start shoving some of this sand back in there. It brought up so much sand that I'm wondering if there's a hole somewhere else also. It was very busy to even do something like this. So I'm gonna scoot this aside and see if anything open at all. Just packed. Just packed. Piece of wood is bigger than a little bit bigger than my hand. Just packed all this in here. Yeah, no holes that I can find here, just right there. But this dirt comes from somewhere. Underneath here, could be under the shed. It's always good to tear a hole down on the ground a ways, because when they dig through sometime, you won't see the tunnel, but you're standing on top of it. But if you take your shovel and dig down through it, it'll begin to collapse. And that's another way how you can get that hole filled in. What I plan on doing is, I think I had some B-holes in here. But what I plan on doing is shoving dirt back inside. A hole like that. And then I'm gonna have to water it. Then I'm gonna have to water this stuff down in there. Yeah, it's kind of way back there. This is not something you really want to do, but you do it because you have to, and depending on where you live, they may tell you don't try to catch it and put it somewhere else, the little animal, or you know, don't kill it and all that kind of stuff. But yet still, oh yeah, there's a bee. They're letting these things run all over the place, and when they're in your area, this is what they'll do. I also have this hole on the back side of my garage. On the side of my garage, and over another lot. He tried to put one on the side of the garage, the house. He tried to put one on the side of the house and go down under, but that's all brick. He's not going to go that far down under. But the thing with me is I'll put this back, put the sand back in there, water it down, and pack it back in. I think they don't like going back and forth digging the same hole, not if it's packed in well. They don't want to keep working at it. So the thing to do is, if at all possible, if one is living somewhere around there and he's far away from you, even though it's in your yard, you might be better off just leaving him. They're not going to live forever, and they may just end up coming out leaving. And if you do want to try to get the animal to leave out from down here, one day you just have to walk over there with maybe a couple buckets of water, your water hose, and just start throwing dirt in there and pouring and shooting water right in that hole. So to push this sand, this dirt further on through there, you need a stick, maybe a 2x4 or something like that. Maybe some kind of flexible stick or whatever. If you find something flexible enough and you can keep shoving the dirt into the hole, it will cover that up pretty good. You'll make that nice and compact. Maybe you won't go back there again. I even thought about putting a few nails there. I don't think they like digging around in nails. You know, you can put I have a brake drum at one of these holes. They keep going through from fence to fence, and they did not dig that up. They didn't even attempt to dig it up. And it has a rose bush by it, so I'm sure some of those needles are getting in there. But this is a big project. I'm not going to be able to stay on here and keep and keep trying to fill that up. It's going to take some time. Not going to be a pretty sight, that's for sure. Another thing I'm going to have to do once I get this sand out of here is I'm going to put some kind of little fencing down underneath here. So it's going to be kind of thick. They're not going to be able to dig up through there. So you can decide to put whatever you want to put down there. I say some kind of fencing, some kind of wire or something, but it's going to have to be. It would be good to be something like this, and just spread it all across the bottom of there. This has a coating on it, but you can put this under there. You can put any kind of fencing underneath this thing. Pretty much, they're big animals. They're not going to come up through here, as long as you have something on top of this. Once you put it underneath this whole structure and cover the ground, it's gonna be hard for them to come up through there. There's a lot of animals out. It seems like the more you get in your yard, the more animals you're gonna have. You didn't see spiders at first, hardly ever. Now you're gonna start seeing spiders. But all of these little things are gonna come. They're helpful in some kind of way, but they're also bug you when they're flying around your head and crawling down your back or something like that, and that's okay. Just pop your shirt off, keep on going. You know, you have things to do, you're trying to make things look nice. And there's no sense in having a yard, and your yard looks so plain that it just, I mean, if you can't get in there, you can't get in there. But when you can get in there, you might want to look for some decent sized plants, maybe 3 feet tall or so, and just place them in different places just so you have some beauty going on in your backyard, or even in your front yard. Well, I'm gonna put a lot of attention to this for right now. I don't need to be on here for that, but I'll bring you back and show you what's going on over here later. All right, gardening whatnot. Talk to you soon.